Yes, I am a faceless creator.
Some people say that faceless channels aren't real YouTubers.
We're done here.
What's happening on YouTube right now is that there's a lot of misrepresentation going on. So let's talk about it. This is really just to have a conversation about what actually is faceless content, what are the different types of content, the intention behind creating for these types of channels, as well as the innovation behind this style. What actually comes to your mind when you hear faceless channel? Let me know in the comments because we have to keep this discussion going. We have to talk about these things going on YouTube. Let's describe this as content where a physical creator's face is not being shown. It can still be original, creative, personal, and of course, high effort content. Let's talk about some different types of faceless channels. So we have personality driven without a face, but the key there is definitely a personality. This is where the voice or the narration is the star. It adds the personality, it adds the identity. Think about Mr. Nightmare's channel, which is horror storytelling. It focuses on the voiceover and actually minimal visuals for this one. CGP Grey is such a highly respected channel, faceless channel. Once again, focusing on the narration over different style of graphics. And this is where you can get creative as to what kind of graphics that you actually want to narrate over, but also part of your branding and who you are as a creator. Because when we think about Jaden Animations, this is narration done over hand-drawn graphics. And Jaden Animations could be one of those channels where we're talking about a way for your skills to shine. Do we need to see your face if you're an artist? Or do we want to see the art?
Do faceless channels actually work? Work? They thrive. Some of my top performers wouldn't even recognize their own reflection.
Can you tell us why they work?
Connection isn't just about a face. It's pacing, it's style, it's trust. Some niches are just born for it. Lockpicking lawyer, all hands. Moon, all commentary, no face. Where is this going again? I shouldn't even be telling you this.
I'm happy to talk about the category that I watch most when it comes to faceless channels, which is cooking and crafting and any kind of maker channel. And one of my favorite YouTube channels ever is Twarka's Kitchen. I literally don't know if I said that correctly. I did Google it. It's just moody, aesthetic food content that is all about the vibes, not the face. And actually, this is also voiceless content too. So if we want to talk about hyper-focusing on your actual craft, this is definitely a great example to look at. You Suck at Cooking is another one, and this also kind of gets into POV footage. And this creator also has a really fantastic way of adding humor and a dry comedic touch.
Our pan is on medium heat. Throw that in and make a sizzling sound with your mouth because the pan wasn't hot enough when you put it in.
Another category to mention would really be text-based channels. Daily Effective Prayer is one, in my opinion, that is doing a great job at utilizing text, which is a really difficult thing to do. They've definitely prioritized their viewer and what their viewer needs. Our aesthetic channels are ones that focus on just that, vibes, aesthetics. I mean, think of Lo-Fi Girl. Everybody knows Lo-Fi Girl. Such a huge culture in faceless content, or one I feel like has really reached a lot of people, maybe not familiar with faceless content. Another category you can think about is POV channels. Think about the channels that are doing POV city walks, like Nomadic Ambiance. Minimal editing, no commentary, visuals and vibes. Avatar channels, of course, are represented with a VTuber or just through animation themselves. Okay, think about the channel Gargura, who is the most subscribed VTuber on YouTube as of right now, because they did retire this year. But it's just such a great example of how you can be so highly creative in a non-traditional format.
So the real problem is, it's not about being faceless. It's about being forgettable, and I don't recommend that. I've said too much, honestly.
It's interesting to think about why creators even go faceless. Privacy or safety is definitely a leading factor. There's also a highly creative motive. Think recipes, education. There's a lot of room there to have the emphasis on the actual thing that they're doing. Scaling or outsourcing production is another reason. There's also the classic reason of being camera shy or using alternative expressions like an avatar or any type of animation. Creators with disabilities and neurodivergences might prefer to create in a non-traditional format. And then we have full AI. Where do those lines start to blur between using AI as a tool and then using AI in a more non-ethical way? And I'm sure you felt it too. It makes us automatically suspicious of any kind of faceless channel. So you're back to set the record straight.
See, that's the problem. There's a big difference between a channel with no face and a channel with no soul.
Maybe the question we should be asking is not do we see a face, but do we feel a creator behind the content? Personally, I see both sides here, and this is something we talk about quite a bit here, and it almost feels like there's always an exception to every thought that I have. Fully generated AI content is not fair and it can't be monetized, but then there is some fully generated AI content that I think is funny. I can say that I think it comes back to the intention behind each video. To me, it doesn't mean doing all the work manually. We have great tools here to help creators make better videos. Just like our thumbnail tool, which has recently gotten some major upgrades. So generate whatever kind of thumbnail you have in your mind and also make changes in the simplest way. But if you're only falling on just using those tools and not being an actual creative at the end of the day, are those tools going to be used to the best of their ability? I feel like what I'm trying to say here is don't be a lazy creator. Have fun creating. So for all the faceless channels watching, we're here. We're here to talk about it and we're here to start the conversation. And if you have a faceless channel that you absolutely love, let me know because I'm always looking for new YouTube to watch, one. But let's give some credit to some channels that are really putting in the work and doing it right.
That's why I'm here. I think it's time. People need to know that faceless creators are creators too. This one is for my fellow faceless channels.